All right, so apparently, Perplexity Comet. So apparently, Perplexity released a browser today, which I'm trying to get the hang of. I just installed it. So I'm going to play around with this while we wait for Grok 4 stream to actually kick off. Yo, what's up, man? Have you checked out the browser by Perplexity yet? A friend of mine kind of convinced me to go upgrade to Max temporarily to try it out because he was telling me it is next level. So I don't know what to think yet. Oh, Devstroll over Quinn 3? That's a good question. I think for me, I'm able to get just better coding quality out of it than Quinn 3. Do you see different? Yeah, this is the only AI browser I've actually tried so far, too. And I was actually asking it a question about Prime Day deals to see what it could find. And this, I don't think this is any different than like Perplexity Search, but I think I can actually get it to do stuff for me. I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. So let me try this. Go to Amazon and build an AMD-based computer for me and add the items to the cart. Make sure you use Prime Day deals. I don't think I'm logged into Amazon, so I'm not sure what's actually going to happen here. It's going to be curious. Yeah, I think for me, a lot of the AI, the local models, I like to use them in root code. So let me pull up this. Let's see if I have my. Which one do I have in here? Yeah, so for me, I just find that Devstroll works better than Quint 3 in root code, but I could see. Actually, what is Quinn 3's context window, actually? Let me load this up here. Because I do have Quinn 3 on here. And I'm assuming the Quinn 3 you're talking about is the 30B A3B, or are you talking about the 32B one? All right, I'm going to have to look up what's happening with Dia. I have not tried Dia at all. You think 32B? Maybe that's what I got to do. I got to give... When you run it, are you doing the... Yeah, 30B is way faster. It is incredibly good. When you run them, though, are you using a quantized version? Because that could be the problem that I'm running into is the Q4 here ends up being a problem. You run through the API, so I bet you're using the full quantized version. I probably need to do comparisons on that because it could be the Q4 version of Quinn 3 just isn't as good for me. So in root code, what's my go-to mode? Honestly, I'll just show you what I was using today. Let me get out of this here. My favorite mode is one that I made called Pair Programmer. And what it does is it very specifically waits to code. So what it'll do is it'll actually analyze the problem, and then give me options for it. So let me see if this one's a good example of that. They've added that new to-do list thing. So here it's analyzing a bunch of stuff. It actually had a failure there. Let me see. I have another window open. I think I must have did it in there. I probably did it in this one. Yep, this is the one. This is a great example because I was in the middle of looking at a bug. And what it'll do is it actually gives me options. Because what I found with a lot of AI models is that the first thing that it does is sometimes dumb. So a lot of times when I'm looking at like solving a bug or I'm trying to do a refactor and I'm looking for like just some ideas on ways to do it, and I kind of know what I want it to do, but not exactly. So I'll use the pair programmer mode. So it always kind of analyzes it and gives me 3 options based on complexity and then what it recommends there. My DevStrol quantization level is Q6. So I'm able to actually run the Q6 version. If I load it up, the stream's going to die, but I'll show you. These are my settings that I typically run. I do flash attention, and then I do Kcache and Vcache quantization, and I change those to Q8 from the default, which is F16. And then typically context length, depending on what I'm using my GPU for. Let's see what I've got loaded in there right now. So yeah, like right now I'm using 6 gigs. So I can't fit the full 100K. So I'll sit around 75K. If I have my GPU kind of empty, I can do a 100K context window. I have not checked out the Grok console actually. Yeah, man, anytime. Appreciate it, tech friend. Appreciate you. You have a funny feeling that Grok 4 might come to client for free. I don't know. Let's see. Let me Google Grok 4 console. Let me see what that is. What's this article say about it? Yeah, I was wondering. I really want the context window. I'd like to see bigger context window. But XAI is optimized for speed over size. I really hope they don't come out with a 131K coding model. G173. I also was pounding assembly code. I don't know how old you are, but I have been coding for. I started professionally coding in 2005, and when I was working on the PlayStation 3, I did quite a bit of assembly code. Some of the coolest stuff I think I worked on, honestly. All right, so let's take a look at Comet here. So Comet, I had to join Max. I jumped in for a month to see what I could do here. So let's see, did it actually create my... Oh, so apparently, if I click this, what does it do? Wait. It makes it seem like it added to the Amazon cart for me. Or it at least added up the price. So it gave me a Ryzen 5 4500 with, must be a, yeah, combo. So here's what I did. I said go to Amazon and build an AMD-based computer for me and add it to the cart. So I definitely would not pick this. I would not go DDR4. I probably want to tell it to build a higher end computer, maybe. Because it gave me an RX 6600, 1 terabyte NVMe, micro ATX. Oh man, punch cards. That is definitely before my time. I do have that. I don't know if this actually did anything with the cart. I did. Did it really? Oh man. That is actually pretty wild. Huh. I know you guys may have already used a bunch of these AI browsers before, but that's actually kind of wild to me. All right, so I got to try something else now. All right, how do I do that? Do I do it here? Probably. What is this? So this is research. Create projects from scratch. Search. Okay, go to walmart.com and Or actually, let's do it this way. Build me a meal plan for a family of 5 and add the items to the cart in Walmart for next week. They like simple foods. See what it comes up with. Oh man, I actually did use the Commodore 64. I freaking love that thing. I had a book, and I would just sit there and type. I'd translate from the book into the Commodore 64, and then I'd sit and monkey with that when I was just a man. I don't know. Was I 13, 14 years old at the time? So much fun. Tim, I would love somebody to actually put some pressure on Claude. To be honest, I can't. I don't know how possible that is because I don't know if you've used much of Grok 3 for coding. They have a lot of catching up to do, but I would love somebody to put pressure on them. A TRS 80 Model 3. So I actually don't even know what that is. TRS 80 Model 3. Oh, that's sweet. Yep, a little bit before me. I missed those. It's funny, when I went to college, you know how we turned in our assignments on a 3.5-inch floppy disk? Like, we would turn those into our professor to look at our code. I think about that a lot. Like, it's crazy that I used to have this one orange floppy disk I'd carry with me everywhere for computer assignment. So 20 minutes. So well, I guess I don't know what your time, 11 p.m. my time, Eastern time, 21 minutes. We'll see. They're always late, though. So in the meantime, what I have uh, this Perplexity Comet doing is building me a family-friendly meal plan for 5 and supposedly adding all the items to Walmart grocery list for me. So apparently it is not going to do that, though. Let me see if they actually added anything. I didn't know if they did not. Oh, it thinks I'm a robot. So I hate this about Walmart because I was trying this with Operator 2 from OpenAI, and it just will lock you out. Like, literally, you just can't get back in. So it'll just keep doing this over and over again. Yeah, it's doing the same thing. So I bet you Perplexity tried, and it won't let it do it. Yeah, this is the same thing that happens. What's up, Aria? That's my daughter. She just joined, apparently, but she should be in bed sleeping. Yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think they're going to be, let's see, Grok 3 pricing? Have they come down at all? Last time I looked, they were not very cheap. Yeah, so this is like Claude 4 pricing, basically. If they come out and they're at the same context window and they have the same pricing and they're not as good as Claude, I don't know how they're going to gain anything. Yeah, it's crazy. I kind of think, though, I don't really know where websites are going to go in the future because is it a bad thing that I want a bot to go in here and go ahead and like build my meal list for me? I feel like Walmart should try to like embrace this a little bit, but maybe I'm not thinking about something there. Yeah, this is the new Turing test. I have to hold down a button. What's up, John? Good to see you, man. I used to work with John back in the day. So yeah, this is what you get if you sign up for Perplexity Max. I will say I was impressed with this. I told it to go to Amazon and build an AMD based computer for me and add the items to the cart. And it actually did it. And it built me a computer. So if the website doesn't block it, it can do it. I actually want to tell it to make it a higher end computer. Maybe start with the 9950X processor. Oh yeah, can maybe make it use PC part picker. You know that? Let me see if it can do that. Okay. Using PC part picker, create a mid-range AMD computer for me. Make sure it's on AM5 and DDR5. I'm curious if it's gonna do it. Okay, so let's go PC part picker. I probably should have told it the builder. I was hoping that it would actually put it in there. Can you picker for me? No, add the part using the builder PC part picker. I don't know if it's gonna do it, unfortunately. 15-minute countdown. I did not see that OpenAI is planning to release a web browser. That would not surprise me with what they've got with Operator, though. Grok 4 will be out. Well, we should hopefully hear about it in about 15 minutes. Okay, it says it's ready. I don't think it actually did it, though. I wonder if I click this. No. That'd be so cool if it did. Let me see if it changed my Amazon shopping order. It did. Did it add the right processor in there? No. Still working on it? Oh, it's still working on it. That's kind of neat, actually. Oh, did it ask me a question? I wasn't paying attention. Oh, it did ask me a question. Okay, cool. Let's do give me a direct link. Man, they actually gave me a 9800X3D. Gaming. Did this actually work? It took some. Did it just find somebody else's? It did just find somebody else's. But I guess that kind of works. That's super funny. Yeah, we need Cloud Code of automated browsers. Man, would that ever? I actually tried using Operator for browser testing, just to kind of like smoke test things. It's not bad, but it's just very slow. Yeah, this is Comet, John. I gotta see. I've never used this before, so I'm kind of like fumbling my way around. So it looks like, this is all like Perplexity search. So if I type anything in here, let's go to like Windows Grok 4 release. Yeah, so this is just Perplexity search there. But then there's this assistant thing on the right here, which I was trying to figure out. Maybe that just kind of works with whatever I'm looking at here. So if I go to this page and I say summarize this, maybe it'll do it. Probably has the context of the page I'm looking at. I don't know. I want to be an optimist. I really want better AI models. Like, I want them to be significantly better. So I'm trying to be optimistic about it. But I'm going to be honest, I've really never found any of the Grok models to be that usable for coding. Uh, Although I will say, Grok 3 Deep Think for planning, there was a time I was actually using it, but not like in an AI coding assistant. Yeah, the whole thing where Grok went crazy is just weird. I don't know what actually happened there. I wish they would come out and kind of like give us the insight on that. And I actually was wondering if they were gonna delay this because of that. Hey, the Buzzati. Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining. So, as far as I know, they're going to be streaming on X, which I had up over here that I was kind of keeping an eye on. I've opened up too much stuff now. Let me go back to here. And XAI. Apparently, it'll be on the XAI stream. So we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, I was trying to actually log into X on Comet, but it won't send me the code to actually validate. Yeah, it was weird. I know that they ended up like turning it off for a while because Grok just went haywire. I would love to understand how that could happen, to be honest. Stuff like that is very fascinating to me. Man, I hope it's state of the art. Let's take a look, see if we can find some Grok 4 leaks. Oh, we wait. We got 11 minutes yet. Okay, so here's something on Reddit. I need to know how that compares to others, though, because I don't know. The sweet bench is it usually doesn't align with what I see. This one actually is interesting. Humanities last exam. So we've got a 72. I guess a calibration error 72. So this is a 21.64, 20.32 there. And then what did it say? Grok 4 actually? 35? What? That would be crazy. And the reasoning version got 45 on it? If those are real, that's insane. I actually dug into what these questions were. They are freaking hard. Crazy. Let's look at some other leaks, see if we can find it. I don't know what this is going to be. Proved it. 87 to 88% on GPQA. 72 to 75 on Sweetbench. Let me look at the Sweetbench leaderboard. Let's see what the numbers look like right now. So we have to look at the full model. The agent. Here we go. What? They changed the website on me. That's the data set. Light, verified, full. This might not be the right one. I want verified. And then I want... Can I not search by models anymore? Any 145 with reason. And Gemini Pro is weird to code with, but it's unmatched in research and dev. Yeah, I totally agree. Its coding is just so varied, man. Like sometimes you just get amazing stuff from it. Other times it's just odd. Very odd. I am going to do a little bit more searching. Sweet bench, Claude 4. I don't think that's gonna give me anything. I didn't realize they were testing AI models or AI agents as well. They have Trey as that's the model though. I didn't know Trey had a model. I'm a vibe coder who'd been trying to automate computational genetic experiments. I found Gemini 2.5 Pro. Had a really hard time finding files on the national genome data. Interesting. That sounds like a really cool experiment to do, honestly. Yeah, so I mean, if this is the number we're looking at here, like 75.2, and they're saying, let me go back to where it was that I was seeing that. So I think it was this one, 72 to 75 on Sweetbench. What I care about though, and I was trying to get information on it, it's like, is it actually going to work well with things like RuCode or Klein? Have they actually tested it for tool calling? Does it support native function calling? Yeah, Comet's very interesting. You know what I got to check here? How much memory is this thing using compared to Chrome? All right, so we've got Google Chrome. How many tabs do I have open currently? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Let's say 10 tabs about. And I have more than that here with Comet. Comet's using 12 gigabytes. Jeez. All right, if I close a tab, dang, that thing is a memory hog. Did it start? Is it just in waiting mode here? Or are you asking if it started? And I appreciate that. Are you fooling me about the XAI stream? Yeah, and look at that. I don't even have that much open. That's crazy. Get rid of this installer now. All right. What if I go to... Okay, so... Close all my distraction tabs. I don't know what it's going to think. Now, I don't see the... I do not see the stream at all. Is the volume too low? Dang it. Let me see if I can crank it. I can boost up some of it here. So I want to use the SteelSeries alias. That is about as fast as I can get it. Let me see if I can do... Really? Grok is one of your top coding LLMs? That is crazy. Are you using it via the API or do you use it just grok.com out of curiosity? It should be starting any minute. I'm waiting for it to kick off. I wish they'd put us in like a waiting area. If anyone sees it, let me know. Elon's account? Why would they do it there? 8 p.m. Gemini Flash is a solid model, honestly. Dude, I love. That's so cool. You're doing kernel programming. Are you using it though in the web UI, or are you actually using their API? Out of curiosity, do you think they're gonna cancel it? They better not. I mean, he has it pinned right here. Somebody said it's live already, but I think they're just trolling me. I'm gonna go back to the XAI one. That is where it's supposed to be. I'm pretty sure. Okay, it's not live. Thank you for confirming. It really is painful for live streams. So supposedly, yeah, maybe they're gonna start exactly at 11 p.m. I guess 8 p.m. Pacific. Come on now, any minute. I should probably close Comet though, because the stream is gonna need a little bit more memory. I wish I had a pre-show too. Man, they better not cancel it. That'd be so bad. I'd be so disappointed. Yeah, I just don't know if this is true or not. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but for me, I feel like 131K, if that ends up being true, it's just going to be rough. I mean, I'll try it and give it like a few days of actually coding with it. A guy with a company that needs secondly precision for space launches. They're going to do it exactly on time to the second. I have a feeling they're going to be like 10 minutes late. They're like always late. And I do need to actually watch Elon's as well, because sometimes he actually posts updates on his. I should probably follow him. Yeah, that's the thing. We have open source models. I mean, heck, I can get 100K um, in LM Studio running the Devstral model, yeah, on my computer. But I know Grok 4 is going to be a lot bigger, so I shouldn't compare that. Yeah, the context window is massively important to me. You know, I used to be kind of a hater, I guess maybe would be the wrong word, but for Claude 4's 200K, because I feel like it should be upped a little bit. But I think Claude Code does such a good job managing the context and the compressing capabilities of it. I don't really run into issues unless I'm doing like a big refactor. Yeah, it should totally be on now. It will begin soon. Stay tuned. So we got an update. They gave us an update at exactly the right time. Yeah, I have actually thought about getting a MacBook Max with that 96 gigabyte of unified memory. It's just so darn expensive. Yeah, Gemini 2.5's context window is freaking awesome. I mean, there are things that I do. Let me see if I can find. Is this one that I did? No, that's not the one. There was some, like this task right here was one that I was working on with Claude Code and Augment Code, and it kept failing. It couldn't actually do it. So I actually ran it through Gemini 2.5 Pro. It ended up costing $3, but it worked. I ended up running through, and it just nailed the entire thing. I heard that it was about 300K now. Let's see if the... Is it GPU? It's actually... I swear I heard... Yeah, it's 200,000 GPUs. But I thought they've added 100,000 since then. Yep, I still use RuCode. RuCode is my honorable mention for this last week. The amount of code I generate from it, unfortunately, has dropped a lot. I am only, for Gemini, I'm only on the $20 a month plan. They got it. They gave us an update that said the live stream should begin any second. Let's refresh. We have to stay tuned, apparently, for it to begin. I have not tried SuperCloud. A few people have linked it to me. Do you guys like it? Yeah, I think it's probably around 300K too for GPUs. You hate Open Web UI? Huh. I really don't mind it. Man, my friend of mine actually was making videos with VO3 the other day. It made me want to have that so badly. I'm just not sure it's worth the price. If they end up adding like authentication with Gemini CLI to where I actually get really good usage for the what is it, the Ultra plan or whatever, I probably would consider it. So with VO3, I think I used all my credits. Let me just check and make sure it didn't start here so we don't miss it. If you guys see it pop too, let me know. It's been a few days since I did this. Try VO. Ooh, that was bright. This is not it. Try in Flow. I was doing it in Flow actually. Straight with Flow. Started. Oh yeah, these were things that I was making. You, so my co-founder, my co-founder gets hyped up every time we hit like new ARR target. So I made a video of it doesn't actually look like him. The guy that I work with is not going bald, but I was trying to make him transform into a Bigfoot character and be excited about our ARR. So yeah, and he also has 4 kids. So I was trying to like do some stuff with him having 4 kids. So yeah, that was my that was my thing. I actually tried to get it to make it juggle the babies, but Google didn't like that. Let me see what credits I actually have. I don't think I have many left, actually. Where do I see that? Oh, I have 780. So not too bad. I switched to VO fast because it just uses such like a lot less credits. When I was doing the VO3 quality, it was 100. Yeah, the let's see, frames to video. That'd be pretty cool because you can actually like carry on. Yeah, my company, what we do here, I'll just go to my dev. What we do is we're kind of building a verticalized AI. Let me make sure they didn't start yet because that's more important than what I'm going to talk about. Man, come on, guys. Technical difficulties? All right. What we do is we help marketers kind of do their end-to-end workflow for their e-commerce store. So, for example, You know, we have our own chatbot in here. You can basically we pull in a bunch of data from Klaviyo, other email providers, Shopify. We understand like how products perform, how they don't perform, and we just help you kind of like automate your entire e-commerce store, specifically on the marketing side. Uh, yeah, I've built majority of this. I actually have thought about doing a video that kind of show like the lessons I've learned because I've learned so much from building both like this entire system as a whole, like getting the artifact system working, getting the native tool calling to happen, all of that stuff. That would be funny if they're like tuning prompts right now before they release it. Oh, you know what we should check? Sometimes things sneak out. I bet you it's not gonna be there yet. No, keep that open. We hope to be hiring soon. If we can get to our revenue targets, we definitely do want to hire. Man, I hope they don't censor it either. I actually, on my mobile phone, I actually use the Grok app a lot, especially when I'm just out and I want to ask a question about something. I really like its web search. So the thing that I've actually, I'll show you. Let me see if I have a good example of one that I've done. Did I actually do this here? Been playing around with like generating emails too, based on images and stuff. It's not great yet. So this starts. This is an early beta currently, but we have a lot of. Our goal is to go completely end to end and kind of help, not replace the marketer, but help them like do more quicker. Got a decent number of customers on board already. I have never tried the unhinged voice chat, but I've seen videos of people doing it. It seems pretty nuts. Yeah, I appreciate that feedback on our footer. Thank you. You get 98% on my history test with GPT, but around 80% with Grok. That is really cool. That is really, really cool. Apparently, there's an unhinged voice, which I'm not even. I definitely have seen people do it. I think you do it on your app. That's so cool to hear about the kernel and reverse engineering stuff. Yeah, we do actually market our marketing app. Do you guys pay for Grok Premium out of curiosity? You can see I back. Actually, I've used it quite a bit. Come on. Man, they are running behind. That's crazy. Yeah, there's a Grok. I actually don't even know if they call it Grok Premium or X Premium or what they call it, but I paid for a year of it. Right around the time Grok 3 came out. You pay for Gemini, you think is better right now? Yeah, I think Gemini is one of those models that people just love or they hate. It's kind of interesting. I feel like they're combined. Um, is this it? I need to see. They might have changed it, but I feel like I played. See, I'm on Premium Plus apparently, whatever that is. I just know I bought a year of it. Man, I've tried the Gemini 2.5 Pro free in Gemini CLI. I run out like instantly. I don't know if they've just like nerfed me, but I just have put an API key in it now. I can't even use the authenticated version. Gemini 2.5 is amazing at refactors. That's what I use it for mostly. I'm excited about Gemini 3. I hope they improve it. So, when you ask me how much I spend on personal AI, if I don't count the evals and stuff I run, I try to keep it under $500 a month. And that's like subscriptions and all of that stuff. If I count the evals, that number goes up a lot, unfortunately. Yeah, see, that's what it does to me. It downgrades me to Flash. So I've literally just switched over to the API key method when I use it. All right, let's check it again. Come on. I wonder what's going on with them. I shouldn't have closed Comet out so quick. All right, let's go back to here. See if Elon's updated anything. I was actually playing with the latest Mistral model, the Mistral Small 3.2, the Q6 version. And I was able to get a pretty high context limit with it. So you can see here, Mistral Small 3.2. And I was seeing like what it could do with my, creating a pool game. I didn't even give it my normal prompt. I just said, give me the absolute best one. And then I kept telling it to make it better and better and better. And it's not great. But this is after, I think, like 4 attempts that it ended up coming up with. So for a local model, I didn't think it was that bad. Actually, I always forget which way this is. I always do that. Sometimes that's the stick, sometimes it isn't. But the thing I always look at is the physics here. Okay. And it's actually not bad for a little local model. So I'm going to do a little bit more testing with that new Mistral model. Have they added that to LM Studio yet? That, what is it called? The Hunyon? I don't even know how to pronounce it. I don't think it's actually officially in here. Oh, here's one. They do have it now. 49 gigabytes? Holy crap. How did you fit that in any card? Jeez. That is massive. Elon arriving late. Could be. I just feel like they're going to at least get the stream going at some point here. Or give us an update. 50 minutes late is very brutal. Yeah. I'm running a, let's see here. I have my RTX 5090 in currently. Sometimes I swap it out for my AMD card. Man, he is delayed it. They said stay tuned, so there's nothing been dropped yet, if you're just now joining. So Windsurf, when I ran my evals, if you wanted to use the SWE models, I'm pretty sure they were still free. Last time I was in there. Let's take a look here. Open up this one. So pretty sure, yeah. So the SWE models are, the SWE 1 is free and SWE 1 light ones are free. And then apparently GPT 4.1 0.25 now, and Gemini 2.5 Pro mode 0.75. LM Arena tweeted. Oh, let's just take a look at that while we wait. Wait, did is X.com just down right now? There we go. Okay. So the problem that I have is like being number 1 at coding. Doesn't mean it's going to be the best coding model, if that makes sense. I know it's weird because it really depends on how it does with tool calling, context limit, and did this get gamed. Gemini 2.5 Pro is number 2. Or no, maybe they're not saying it's number 1, are they? Leaked benchmarks say it'll be the number 1 coding and math, beating Claude and Gemini. I want to see the actual early benchmarks. Yeah, I hope it's really good for you. Did you see that Meta actually switched their internal coding model to Claude now? That has me kind of worried about Meta. Let me see if I can find that article again. So Meta switches to Claude. I don't think this is the one I don't think this is the one I was reading. No, that one's blocked. I don't know. I can't find the article. But apparently, Meta actually has allowed their developers to not have to use Meta models anymore. They can use Claude because they don't want to hold them back. You have low expectations for Grok 4? Yeah, for me, again, what I care about is it going to work in like open code? Is it going to work in GRU code, Klein, etc.? As a normal chatbot that I talk to or like search the web for, I actually don't mind it. I actually like it a lot. Hey Rory, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Grok had to take a bathroom break. I can't believe they haven't even given us another update. That's kind of embarrassing for them. They're already doing it so late at night. I mean, their team is in California, so it's already late for them now. Oh, you got a new schedule? It's scheduled for 8:30 now. Maybe they just updated something. They did not post it there. Let's see if Elon posted anything. Nope. Under what's happening. Oh, you're right. Good spot in there. I don't ever pay attention to that. Nice spot. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I block out like everything off to the side most of the time. Like I don't pay attention to really any of this up here. They really should have put that post here for people. All right, it's cool. If that's true, 10 minutes, guys. Since we've had a lot more people join, has anyone tried out Comet yet? The new browser by Perplexity. I wonder if I actually let it finish. So I tried getting it to build me a meal plan and add it to Walmart, but Walmart blocks it. And I'm still kind of blocked out of it. So hopefully my IP didn't get jammed up. But I did have it build me a computer, and it added the wrong processor. It added the 5950. I told it to do the 9950. Oh well. But it did add everything else. I'd have to see if they're actually compatible. AM5. Yeah, that would work. What's the total? $907. I don't know why they would put this graphics card in there though. I did actually pay for 1 month of Perplexity Max because a friend of mine was messaging me telling me that Comet is unbelievable, and I'm not totally sure I'm seeing it yet, so I'm gonna have to figure out what he's doing. Hey, I appreciate it. Ackshot. Yeah, augment code is awesome. You cannot go wrong with that. Especially if you are working in a fairly large code base. I have found its limitations in certain sizes of code bases, but it's really good. I don't know. I'm still the raw reasoning of LLMs is very fascinating to me. So I'm not totally sure. Um, the way I've always thought about it is you're just putting more compute behind it. So really, you're delaying, you're increasing the latency and adding more compute to the problem. And it does that by generating like extra tokens, and it does that by questioning itself. Which, if you think about us as humans, it's kind of what we do. We'll sit and ponder on things. We'll ask questions to ourselves. So, in my mind, I feel like it is. It just kind of is working the way humans work in a very simplistic way to put it. Yeah, time zones, gotcha. We need a solid local LLM deep research. I know about existing tools on GitHub, but would love something like LM Studio. Man, that would be freaking killer if we could get a deep research functionality in LM Studio. I probably, I would probably use that all the time. You can see all the models. I have way too many models downloaded, by the way. I've been trying to clean them up because I haven't used some of them in a while. It is. I know it's not open source, and I know there are people that are against it because of that. But it just makes it so easy to use. For deep research, currently I'm using typically O3 deep research with OpenAI. I love theirs. Gemini's isn't bad either. I actually use augment code in Cursor. So yeah, augment code in Cursor, it works great. I'm switching out my battery, but you guys should still be able to hear me because it's on my other microphone. These headphones come with a double battery on them, so I have to like swap them out every once in a while. Dude, I appreciate that, man. You definitely did not have to give me that $20, so thank you so much. You're awesome. Really appreciate that. All right, so let's take a look at if they've given us any other updates here. Nope. Wait. Can I actually join it? It just says soon. One of the XAI people put it there. Yeah, honestly, if you're a cursor user, I would 100% consider adding augment code to it. I've been actually hearing a lot of people complain about Claude models lately. I don't know. For me, they haven't felt that much different. But I do know that certain times of the day, it does feel like the quality or the speed or the capability does decrease. And I actually have some tests that I run uh, for my main app that I run. And what we'll see is like scores actually degrade at certain times of the day, which is very, very odd. I'm really wondering what's going on, like why they're having all these technical difficulties here. Can I actually click into it yet? No. I mean, that they should at least have the stream going at this point. Crazy. My biggest criticism of AI in general right now is I don't actually I don't even know what I would want differently, but I've done some tests where I actually would tell it a bad idea. So in Claude Code, I would say it would have like a good plan, and I would say something like, "Why would you do it like that?" And I would come up with like something that's just definitely not the right way to do it, and it would agree with me and then start doing it. And it's like I really don't want them to be that agreeable. Like I want them to be able to say, we could do it that way, but that's not the most ideal way." But usually it'll say like, "You're absolutely right," or "That's a great idea." It's a very difficult problem to solve. It assumes that I'm right, which is fine because I mean as an experienced developer, I do typically know what I want it to do, so I'm fine with that. But if I'm giving this to like a mid-level or a junior on my team, I don't want it to be agreeable all the time with them. Yeah, I feel like pretty much all of them would fail a benchmark on disagreeing. I don't think many of them are disagreeing. Yeah, because I don't want it to like, if I say no, I really want you to do this, I still want it to do it. I want it to listen to me. But I want it to actually say, are you sure that's a good idea? Or push back a little bit. I need to do, I've had a few people, I don't know if you guys care about this or not, but I'd be curious. I've had a lot of people ask about doing O3 evals across all the AI coding assistants. I'm debating on kicking that project off next, working on that. My O3 for me has been kind of hit or miss in AI coding assistants, so I'm very curious how they'll actually pan out. Man, I tried to get Claudia working in WSL. I just could not do it. I spent way too much time on it. I am going to actually set it up on my Linux boot one day and try it out. It does seem pretty cool. Okay, so you tried it and went back. All right, so it is now 11:30. No updates at all. This is unbelievable. That's the thing that I find over and over again. Because let me see if I can find my last. I need to add this to my website, by the way. So I haven't had a chance to do that fully yet. If I go in, this is going to be. Oh, that's too bright. The charts here. So, like for me, it's just crazy how you can have. It makes sense though. Maybe I shouldn't say it's crazy. It totally makes sense why it's the case. But how I can work with like Void, Gemini 2.5 Pro is basically unusable, and then you get Zed, and it never seems to fail. It's just the way you have to like tune these agents to work with individual models. I was talking to the folks at OpenCode a little bit, and they're going to try to build like custom prompts for Gemini 2.5, and then I'll probably help them do some testing just to see how it's performing on it. But yeah, it's you really do have to like tune to them really hard. Yeah, 24-hour waiting room. I do need to go to bed at some point, Grok. I hope you come soon. It is 11:30 p.m. That is crazy. What's up, God of AI? Good to see you, man. Yeah, the I know some people. The one thing I will say is all of these scores are lower than if you go and look at my July ones that I did. You know, you look at Claude 4, Sonnet, and Claude Code, 17,000. So like even the best score here is still much lower than, you know, the top, I don't know, 13 or so using Claude 4. I did try clicking on this a few times. It doesn't actually take me anywhere. It just kind of takes me back to this page. Well, I figured they were going to be 10 minutes late. I didn't think they were going to be this late. I'm sorry, guys. Unbelievable. Is it live? Please be live. Please be live. Come on. Anyone else confirm it's actually live somewhere? Let me check Elon's. Could be doing it on his name. Click this. Yeah, not live for me either. So, yes, Gemini 2.5 is used for the entire thing in my test. But I will say, if I had the time and the unlimited funds to actually do it, I would love to actually test like uh, different modes. For example, I'm using the default mode. So, for example, client, I'm using the act mode, and root code, I'm using their default code mode. I would love to actually try their orchestrator mode and be able to see how those scores compare using those same models. Man, I hope open source or open source OpenAI's open source model does come out next week. And I hope it's not. I know this is probably not what some of you think, and that's totally okay. But I hope it's not like a little 3 billion or 2 billion parameter model that's built for mobile phones. Thanks, Driftless Crypto. Appreciate that. Yeah, honestly, if I was on a extreme budget, I would do exactly what you're doing, Alex. I think if there weren't things like augment code and Claude code that I can just pay a fixed price for, I would 100% do planning with Pro, and I would have a lot of my implementation with Flash, and the price would be really, really cheap. The infinite loops are a pain. You have to watch them, and they will rack up some prices, man. The last evals I ran, um, that open code just racked up a ton for me before because I did it, went away, started making dinner, came back, and it was still running, and I was like, oh crap, and it was just doing the same thing over and over again. A Korean YouTuber said the demo is delayed by an hour. How are they getting that information? That's crazy. Dude has inside information somehow. Is there anything you guys want to test in Comet? I was trying to figure out what else I could even do with it. Oh, here, let's try this. Look at the best performing stocks today and give me a summary of why each performed well. Something like that. I wonder what it'll do. Yeah, I appreciate that. You just wait for my eval to choose the top three. The only thing I would say to that is if you're doing like kernel programming, so that may perform different for you. So it's just one of those like super challenging things to cover. I try to like really measure how well they work with AI coding assistants as a whole, like how well those work. But I've talked to people that are doing like obscure programming languages, and there are just certain models that just don't do good at that. And it'd be really hard for me to test all those variations. A $300 subscription leak. Have you guys noticed that? Like everyone's moving from 20, 30, $50 to these 200 to what is the Gemini one now? It's like Gemini Pro Ultra or Gemini Ultra price. $249.99. So it seems like more and more of these companies are trying to find that $200 mark to $200, $300 mark. It would need to be an unlimited coding CLI, and it would need to be good for me to even consider. Like I may actually buy it for like a month to try it out, but I would not keep it if it's not good. Thank you, Patrick. Unlimited VO. I was looking at that. We were a friend of mine and I were talking about like how much it would cost to actually make like a 10-minute video, and if you were just buying the credits, it's pretty dang astronomical. I actually have fun with VO. You get 12,500 monthly credits, and if you're using the quality one, it's 100 per 8-second clip. If you use the fast one, you can do a lot more. So someone saw it in the App Store. Let me take a look at this. You know, yeah, because they probably have to time that release. Grok. There is an update for it. At least, I don't know if mine's just out of date. It's from 9 hours ago. It probably wouldn't be it. I'm starting to believe the hour late too, but I really wish they would update it on here. It's kind of lame that they didn't. The super, I don't want to nitpick too much, but it's super unprofessional to post that you're starting and then not to give any update on it. I just can't justify paying for this. If they were to take and give me basically nearly unlimited Gemini CLI with all this other stuff, I maybe would consider it. But as it is, I just can't. Is it on Open Router yet? I would be surprised if it's on there yet. That'd be so cool if it actually got on here first. Let's take a look at. Look at this. This is crazy. This week, Gemini 2.0 Flash. I actually was talking to someone the other day and they were telling me 2.0 Flash is better than 2.5 Flash at coding. But I haven't tried it in a while, but I remember 2.0 Flash being kind of rough. I wonder if that's changed. Let's take a look at what they're used for. Yeah, so it's still not hitting coding assistant. So we're like light LLM, spell AI stuff. Where's the coding one? There's not even a Klein. 457 million. It's nothing. And then if we look at Flash, I bet you that's going to be a lot higher. Yeah, Klein, root code, kilo clip code. Yeah, I don't understand that either. I know companies that I worked at, like they took this stuff very seriously. People just keep like giving the same link to that technology page. Usually Elon will say something, which is weird. Yeah, no kidding. We should just start our own live stream. Grok 4. If they end up canceling it, man, I'm going to be disappointed. All right, so let's go over. What would you use an AI browser for? I do like this Amazon thing. Let me go through and delete all this. Make a new tab here. I'm going to tell it to find the best deals on Amazon Prime and add it to my cart. The scary thing, I'm not logged in. I purposely am not logged in on Amazon because I was nervous that it would actually buy something for me. Can you actually generate images in Comet? I gotta try that. Generate an image of Elon Musk putting out a fire with a Grok 4 sign behind him. Let's see if it actually can. Am I freezing? Is OBS freezing on me? Let me see if I need to free up some memory here. I've had a little bit. CPU is spiked though. What is hitting it? Man, look at Comet here. That's probably why. Okay, it looks good, you guys. Look at this image stuff. This is weird. Okay, so let's get rid of that. All right, so here are the best performing stocks today. NVIDIA. Did NVIDIA actually do that good today? %1.8%. Okay. Yeah, it topped 4 trillion. That's crazy. I know, man. I'm sorry. I'm about to fall asleep too. This is crazy. I cannot believe this. I also can't believe they're not giving us an update. I'd be more fine with it if they were like, all right, 10 minutes out. That's pretty good, actually. I'm probably too tired to find that too funny. That's what's actually happening right now. The GPU's overworked. Oh, did it appear? Let me see if it's... I bet they're testing something. Probably certain accounts. Yeah, I don't got it either. I don't know what this is. So, fingers look good. Dude, that's actually not bad. Image server that are on fire. Yeah, and so I've been having trouble a little bit with the GPT one, image generation. It's so restrictive on editing that like I will try to like change a person out or something, and it'll tell me that it can't because it violates content restrictions. It's really weird. So I'm thinking about switching over the one I use in my production app over to Flux actually. Yeah, it should be. You need to go heat up your pizza. Let me close some of these tabs here. I wonder if it can actually write code and like execute stuff in. Can you build me a game of Tetris and run it in a new tab? I have no idea what the limits of this thing are. Yeah, let me see if I can do a poll. All right, so let's see here. What to paying for? So the question is, what agentic coding tools are you paying for? So we're gonna do Claude Code, Augment Code, you think any minute now? Let me go over here. I'm making this poll. Cursor, windsurf. Oh, I can't do more than 4? That's lame. Let me do other. I guess I'm gonna put it. Is the theory that they're gonna start exactly an hour late? That it's gonna be at midnight? What was funny is, wasn't it supposed to be Grok 3.5 for a bit? It's just a lot of anticipation. Shing, you use open code only? That's awesome. It's really good. Cursor. New Grok pricing page. Do they have Grok 4 on there at all? No. Let me go to their main page here. Oh, it did change from smartest to fast. Let me see if that's the old one. Do they have pricing? Yeah, same page. Okay. Grok 3. Use cases like extraction, data extraction, coding, input. Grok 3 fast. So you're only going to get, so if that's true, the $300 a month plan appears on Grok as Super Grok Heavy. The plan includes early access to new features, Grok 4 Heavy, exclusive preview, dedicated support, Grok 4 Heavy Big Brain. So Grok 4 Heavy? Let me see if I can find any information on that. Let me just refresh this real quick too. I cannot believe they're not updating us. You guys are finding some stuff I'm not seeing. Main page, Grok web page. Grok.com. XAI. I guess it's all there. I don't know. Grok 4 Heavy is sold out? What the heck? Search X for Grok. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, this is cool. Let's take a look at these. $3,000 a year. Man, that is a commitment. That is a commitment. I wonder how they found that. I'm just terrible, I guess, at finding that. Super Grok, 1 month, $30. So I should theoretically get it on my plan then, because I'm on the X premium plan. We're doing final flight checks, liftoff soon. Swear here, breaking a $300 a month plan on Grok at Super Grok Heavy. The live stream delays will continue until morale improves. uh, I don't understand why they're not giving us an update. You know what? Let's oh, so it can't make the game for me. Grok 4 super heavy, or Grok 4 heavy pricing. What's this giving me? That's the wrong Grok. I spelled it wrong. The crap? Actually don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's true. $3,000 a year is not bad if it's actually amazing. They did finally release the API for Grok 3, and it's very expensive. I can actually show you the pricing here. It's basically the same price as Claude 4 Sonnet with a little bit less context window. They actually do have it pretty well rate limited too. I'm sure you can probably get more than that at some point. Yeah, I wonder, I probably need to, if I go into premium here and then manage my account and then switch tier. I must be like, because I bought the yearly one, I'm just not getting the new stuff that everyone else is seeing. I wonder if it, maybe I just gotta read this. Hold on. Super Grok. Use our most powerful model. Like, I'm on the Premium Plus one. Come on, give us a 5-minute countdown at least. See if there's anything. I signed in with it. Let's do this, grok.com. I don't think I can get anywhere in any of these without being signed in. Yeah, that's all they say is soon, and the last time they posted was 55 minutes ago. Unbelievable. Yeah, honestly, I expected augment code to be higher. Holy crap. 6%. You guys are all Claude Code fans like me. Yeah, apparently some people are, though. Super Grok Heavy sold out. Is heavy going to be the new term now? What is that, like the reasoning version of it? Oh no! Look at the context window. I hope that's not true. Yeah, maybe they meant 8 a.m. Maybe they had the. Maybe they meant everybody to work overnight. Let's see if there's any updates on X for Grok 4. Everybody keeps posting the same link. Yep, we're all looking for the live stream. Yeah, big brain. They've changed it to heavy now. Like Falcon Heavy. It says your super Grok plan includes Grok 4. Let me go to Grok directly. I subscribe through Twitter. Let me manage subscription. So it takes me here. And then manage your current subscription. I don't want to do that. Switch tier. Is there anything with Grok 4? Oh, it does have it. You're right. They added it on here now. Has anyone used an MCP to connect to GitHub or ChatGPT o3 Web UI? I have not played with that. I have used an MCP back a few months ago to connect to GitHub, but then a lot of the tools have just gotten good about using my actual terminal's ability to do everything I need to with GitHub. Yeah, I do think this new pricing scheme, everyone is going to the $200 a month, and I guess that does kind of make sense with what did we say, 3,000? So what would that be? Is that 250 a month? A little under 250. 3,000 by 12. Exactly 250. So if you think about it, that's exactly what Gemini's pricing is. Thought I had that up still, but I guess I closed it. But that's exactly what Gemini's Ultra pricing is. Man, I really thought they were going to start at 12 a.m. But nothing. Did Elon even post anything? Dude, that has to be. Their team must be like panicking right now. Can you imagine like being on that team? 9 p.m. for them. Everything's going wrong. System's on fire. Maybe Grok 4 broke out. It's live? I've seen a lot of it's live. Alright. Please, please, please. Alright, I'm switching desktop audio on. I'm gonna crank it all the way up. No sound. Got it cranked all the way up. Yeah, now we get to listen to the elevator music for a while. Thank you guys for hanging out. That's fun for a little bit there. Even though it was unfortunate we had to wait so long. Have any of you actually used, or do any of you actually use Grok 3 API in any of the coding tools that you use? Yeah, Rant, anytime. Yeah, I can lower the music. Hard to tell like how loud it is. So let me know. I'll make it like that. Is that about right? Elevator, is that pretty good? Yeah, same Starbrand. Exactly an hour, and now we get to see how long this is going to take. Cool, thanks, David. Utopian, I think you'll be converted to a coder at some point. Oh, yep, at least they have the thing going now. How many people are watching? 56,000? That's pretty good. 100K is what you're seeing? Oh, we're buffering. There we go. I've not tried AMP code meaningfully yet. I am very interested to do so, though. Have you tried it, John? I'm, man, I feel like I'm such a nerd. And this is gonna sound so like, it's gonna sound kind of biased. I love Claude Code, but I still can kind of control what model I'm using. In AMP code, as far as I know, in my little bit of using it, I don't think I have any control over what model it's using at all. Yeah, thanks, Starbrand. I mean, this is amazing. I'd be happy if 10 people joined me, to be honest. I just like hanging out with fellow nerds. So that's what I see too, John. Is the O3 model is really, really good at planning, and I love its deep research that I do online in the web interface. Yeah, Grok 3 was awful at tool execution. I completely quit testing it. I don't know if they've refined it since then. Be very curious to see how it's performing now. Man, I had there's an open router bug. Oh, is it starting? Maybe this is it. Cranking up the volume.
In a world where knowledge shapes destiny, one creation dares to redefine the future. From the minds at XAI, prepare for Grok 4. This summer, the next generation arrives. Faster, smarter, bolder. It sees beyond the horizon, answers the unasked, and challenges the impossible. Grok 4, Unleash the Truth, coming this summer.
It's the movie trailer.
All right, welcome to the Grok 4 release here. This is the smartest AI in the world, and we're going to show you exactly how and why. It really is remarkable to see the advancement of artificial intelligence, how quickly it is evolving. I sometimes compare it to the growth of a human and how fast a human learns and gains conscious awareness and understanding. And AI is advancing just vastly faster than any human. I mean, we're going to take you through a bunch of benchmarks that that Grok 4 is able to achieve incredible numbers on. But it's actually worth noting that Grok 4, if given like the SAT, would get perfect SATs every time, even if it's never seen the questions before. And if even going beyond that to say like graduate student exams like the GRE, it will get near perfect results in every discipline of of education. So from the humanities to like languages, math, physics, engineering, pick anything, and we're talking about questions that it's never seen before. These are not on the internet, and Grok 4 is smarter than almost all graduate students in all disciplines simultaneously. Like, it's actually just important to appreciate that's really something. And the reasoning capabilities of Grok are incredible. So there's some people out there who think AI can't reason, and look, it can reason at superhuman levels. So, yeah, and frankly, it only gets better from here. So we'll take you through the Grok 4 release, and yeah.
Let's go.
Show you like the pace of progress here. Like, I guess the first part is like in terms of the training, we're going from Grok 2 to Grok 3 to Grok 4. We've essentially increased the training by an order of magnitude in each case. So it's 100 times more training than Grok 2, and that's only going to increase. So it's yeah, frankly, I mean, I don't know. In some ways, a little terrifying, but the growth of intelligence here is remarkable.
Yes. It's important to realize there are two types of training compute. One is the pre-training compute. That's from Grok 2 to Grok 3. But from Grok 3 to Grok 4, we're actually putting a lot of compute in reasoning in RL.
Yeah, and just like you said, this is literally the fastest moving field. And Grok 2 is like the high school student by today's standard. If we look back in the last 12 months, Grok 2 was only a concept. We didn't even have Grok 2 12 months ago. And then by training Grok 2, that was the first time we scale up like the pre-training. We realized that if you actually do the data ablation really carefully, and the infra, and also the algorithm, we can actually push the pre-training quite a lot by amount of 10x to make the model the best pre-trained base model. And that's why we built Colossus, the world's supercomputer with 100,000 H100. And then with the best pre-trained model, and we realized if you can collect these verifiable outcome reward, you can actually train this model to start thinking from the first principle, start to reason, correct its own mistakes. And that's where the Grok 3 reasoning comes from. And today we ask the question, what happens if you take the expansion of the Colossus with all 200,000 GPUs, put all these into RL, 10x more compute than any of the models out there on reinforcement learning, unprecedented scale, what's going to happen? So this is the story of Grok 4, and Tony share some insight with the audience.
Yeah. So yeah, let's just talk about how smart Grok 4 is. So I guess we can start discussing this benchmark called Humanities Last Exam. And this benchmark is a very, very challenging benchmark. Every single problem is curated by subject matter experts. It's in total 2,500 problems, and it consists of many different subjects: mathematics, natural sciences, engineering, and also all the humanities subjects. So essentially, when it was first released, actually like earlier this year, most of the models out there can only get single-digit accuracy on this benchmark. Yeah, so we can look at some of those examples. So there is this mathematical problem, which is about natural transformations in category theory. And there's this organic chemistry problem that talks about electrocyclic reactions. And also there's this linguistic problem that tries to ask you about distinguishing between closed and open syllabus from a Hebrew source text. So you can see also it's a very wide range of problems. And every single problem is PhD or even advanced research level problems.
Yeah, I mean, there are no humans that can actually answer these, can get a good score. I mean, if you actually say, like, any given human, what's the best that any human could score? I mean, I'd say maybe 5% optimistically.
Yeah.
Dang.
So this is much harder than what any human can do. It's incredibly difficult. And you can see from the types of questions, like you might be incredible in linguistics or mathematics or chemistry or physics or any one of a number of subjects, but you're not going to be at a postgrad level in everything. And Grok 4 is a postgrad level in everything. Like it's just, some of these things are just worth repeating. Like Grok 4 is postgraduate, like PhD level in everything. Better than PhD, but like most PhDs would fail. So it's better that said, I mean, at least with respect to academic questions, I want to just emphasize this point. With respect to academic questions, Grok 4 is better than PhD level in every subject, no exceptions. Now, this doesn't mean that at times it may lack common sense, and it has not yet invented new technologies or discovered new physics, but that is just a matter of time. I think it may discover new technologies as soon as later this year, and I would be shocked if it has not done so next year. So I would expect Grok to, literally discover new technologies that are actually useful no later than next year and maybe end of this year. And it might discover new physics next year. And within 2 years, I'd say almost certainly. So just let that sink in. Yeah.
So okay, so I guess we can talk about what's behind the scene of Grok 4. As Jimmy mentioned, we actually throwing a lot of compute into this training. When it started, it's only also a single digit. Sorry, the previous slide. Sorry. Yeah, it's only a single digit number. But as you start putting in more and more training compute, it started to gradually become smarter and smarter, and eventually solved a quarter of the HLE problems. And this is without any tools. The next thing we did was to adding tools capabilities to the model. And unlike Grok 3, I think Grok 3 actually is able to use CRO as well, but here we actually make it more native in the sense that we put the tools into training. Grok 3 was only relying on generalization. Here, we actually put the tools into training. And it turns out this significantly improves the model's capability of using those tools.
Yeah, I remember we had like deep search back in the days.
Yeah.
So how is this different?
Yeah, exactly. So deep search was exactly the Grok 3 reasoning model, but without any specific training, but we only asked it to use those tools. So compared to this, it was much weaker in terms of its tool capabilities.
And unreliable. Yeah.
And unreliable, yes.
And to be clear, these are still, I'd say, this is still fairly primitive tool use. If you compare it to, say, the tools that are used at Tesla or SpaceX, where you're using, finite element analysis and computational fluid dynamics, and you're able to run, or say like Tesla does, like crash simulations, where the simulations are so close to reality that if the test doesn't match the simulation, you assume that the test article is wrong. That's how good the simulations are. So Grok is not currently using any of the tools, the really powerful tools that a company would use, but that is something that we will provide it with later this year. So we'll have the tools that a company has, and have very accurate physics simulator. Ultimately, the thing that'll make the biggest difference is being able to interact with the real world via humanoid robots. So you combine sort of Grok with Optimus, and it can actually interact with the real world and figure out if it can formulate an hypothesis and then confirm if that hypothesis is true or not. So we're really, I think about like where we are today. We're at the beginning of an immense intelligence explosion. We're in the intelligence Big Bang right now, and we're at the most interesting time to be alive of any time in history. Yeah. Now that said, we need to make sure that the AI is a good AI, good Grok. And the thing that I think is most important for AI safety, at least my biological neural net tells me, the most important thing for AI is to be maximally truth-seeking. So this is a very fundamental. Like you can think of AI as this super genius child that ultimately will outsmart you, but you can still you can instill the right values and encourage it to be sort of, you know, truthful, I don't know, honorable, you know, good things like the values you want to instill in a child that would ultimately grow up to be incredibly powerful. Yeah. So yeah, so this is really, I'd say, we say tools. These are, I'd say, still primitive tools, not the kind of tools that serious commercial companies use. But we will provide it with those tools, and I think it will be able to solve, with those tools, real-world technology problems. In fact, I'm certain of it. It's just a question of how long it takes.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
So is it just compute all you need, Tony?
Sorry?
Is it just compute all you need at this point?
Well, you need compute plus the right tools, and then ultimately to be able to interact with the physical world.
Yes.
And then, I mean, we'll effectively have an economy that is, well, ultimately an economy that is thousands of times bigger than our current economy, or maybe millions of times. I mean, if you think of civilization as percentage completion of the Kardashev scale, where Kardashev 1 is using all the energy output of a planet, and Kardashev 2 is using all the energy output of a sun, and 3 is all the energy output of a galaxy. We're only, in my opinion, probably like closer to 1% of Kardashev 1 than we are to 10%. So like maybe a point or 1 or 2% of Kardashev 1. So we will get to most of the way, like 80-90% Kardashev 1, and then hopefully, if civilization doesn't self-annihilate, and then Kardashev 2, like it's the actual notion of a human economy, assuming civilization continues to progress, will seem very quaint in retrospect. It will seem like sort of cavemen throwing sticks into a fire level of economy. Compared to what the future will hold. I mean, it's very exciting. I mean, I've been at times kind of worried about, like, well, you know, this seems like it's somewhat unnerving to have intelligence created that is far greater than our own. And will this be bad or good for humanity? It's like, I think it'll be good. Most likely it'll be good. Yeah. Yeah. But I somewhat reconciled myself to the fact that even if it wasn't going to be good, I'd at least like to be alive to see it happen. So, yeah.
So actually one yeah. Yeah, I think one technical problem that we still need to solve, besides just compute, is how do we unblock the data bottleneck? Because when we try to scale up the RL, in this case, we did invent a lot of new techniques, innovations, to allow us to figure out how to find a lot of challenging RL problems to work on. It's not just the problem itself needs to be challenging, but also it needs to be you also need to have like a reliable signal to tell the model you did it wrong, you did it right. This is the sort of the principle of reinforcement learning. And as the models get smarter and smarter, the number of cool problems or challenging problems will be less and less.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a new type of challenge that we need to surpass besides just compute. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually are running out of actual test questions to ask. So there's like even questions that are ridiculously hard, if not essentially impossible for humans, that are written down questions, are becoming swiftly becoming trivial for AI. So then there's, but the one thing that is an excellent judge of things is reality. So, because physics is the law, ultimately, everything else is a recommendation. You can't break physics. So the ultimate test, I think, for whether an AI is, the ultimate reasoning test is reality.
Yes.
So you invent a new technology, like say, improve the design of a car or a rocket, or create a new medication that, and does it work?
Yeah.
Does the rocket get to orbit? Does the car drive? Does the medicine work? Whatever the case may be. Reality is the ultimate judge here. So it's going to be reinforcement learning, closing the loop around reality.
We asked the question, how do we even go further? So actually, we are thinking about now, with single agent, we're able to solve 40% of the problem. What if we have multiple agents running at the same time? So this is what's called test and compute. And as we scale up the test and compute, actually, we are able to solve almost more than 50% of the text-only subset of the HLE problems. So it's a remarkable achievement, I think.
Yeah, this is insanely difficult. These are so what we're saying is like a majority of the text-based of humanities, scarily named humanities last exam, Grok 4 can solve, and you can try it out for yourself. And with the Grok 4 Heavy, what it does is it spawns multiple agents in parallel, and all of those agents do work independently, and then they compare their work, and they decide which one. It's like a study group, and it's not as simple as a majority vote, because often only one of the agents actually figures out the trick, or figures out the solution. But once they share the trick or figure out what the real nature of the problem is, they share that solution with the other agents, and then they essentially compare notes, and then yield an answer. Yeah. So that's the heavy part of Grok 4 is where you scale up the test time compute by roughly an order of magnitude, have multiple agents tackle the task, and then they compare their work, and they put forward what they think is the best result.
Yeah, so we will introduce Grok 4 and Grok 4 Heavy. Sorry, can you click the next slide?
Sure.
Yeah, yes. So basically, Grok 4 is a single agent version, and Grok 4 Heavy is the multi-agent version. So let's take a look how they actually do on those exam problems, and also some real life problems.
Yeah. So we're going to start out here, and we're actually going to look at one of those HLE problems. This is actually one of the easier math ones. I don't really understand it very well. I'm not that smart, but I can launch this job here, and we can actually see how it's going to go through and start to think about this problem. While we're doing that, I also want to show a little bit more about what this model can do and launch a Grok 4 Heavy as well. So everyone knows Polymarket. It's extremely interesting. It's the seeker of truth. It aligns with what reality is most of the time. And with Grok, what we're actually looking at is being able to see how we can try to take these markets and see if we can predict the future as well. So as we're letting this run, we'll see how Grok 4 Heavy goes about predicting the World Series odds for the current teams in the MLB. And while we're waiting for these to process, we're going to pass it over to Eric, and he's going to show you an example of his.
Yeah. So I guess one of the coolest things about Grok 4 is its ability to understand the world and to solve hard problems by leveraging tools like Tony discussed. And I think one kind of cool example of this, we asked it to generate a visualization of two black holes colliding. And of course, it took there are some liberties. It's, in my case, actually pretty clear in its thinking trace about what these liberties are. For example, in order for it to actually be visible, you need to really exaggerate the scale of the waves. And yeah, so here's this kind of in action. it exaggerates the scale in like multiple ways. It drops off a bit less in terms of amplitude over distance, and but yeah, we can kind of see the basic effects that are actually like correct. It starts with the in spiral, it merges, and then you have the ring down, and like this is basically largely correct. Modulo some of the simplifications that need to do. It's actually quite explicit about this. It uses like post-Newtonian approximations instead of actually like computing the general relativistic effects at like near the center of the black hole, which is incorrect, and will lead to somewhat incorrect results. But the overall visualization is is basically there, and you can actually look at the kinds of resources that it references. So here it actually it obviously uses search. It gathers results from a bunch of links, but also reads through a undergraduate text in analytic gravitational wave models. It reasons quite a bit about the actual constants that it should use for a realistic simulation. It references, I guess, existing real-world data, and it's a pretty good model.
But like actually going forward, we can give it the same model that physicists use, so it can run the same level of compute that so leading physics researchers are using, and give you a physics accurate black hole simulation.
Exactly.
Just right now is running in your browser, so.
Yeah, this is just running in your browser.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Pretty simple.
So swapping back real quick here, we can actually take a look. The math problem is finished. The model was able to, let's look at its thinking trace here, so you can see how it went through the problem. I'll be honest with you guys, I really don't quite fully understand the math, but what I do know is that I looked at the answer ahead of time, and it did come to the correct answer here in the final part here. We can also come in and actually take a look here at our World Series prediction, and it's still thinking through on this one. But we can actually try some other stuff as well. So we can actually like try some of the X integrations that we did. So we worked very heavily on working with all of our X tools and building out a really great X experience. So we can actually ask, the model, find me the XAI employee that has the weirdest profile photo. So that's going to go off and start that, and then we can actually try out, let's create a timeline based on X post detailing the changes in the scores over time, and we can see all the conversation that was taking place at that time as well. So we can see who are the announcing scores and like what was the reactions at those times as well. So we'll let that go through here and process. And if we go back to this was the Greg Yang photo here. So if we scroll through here, whoops. So Greg Yang, of course, who has his favorite photograph that he has on his account. That's actually not how he looks like in real life, by the way, just so you're aware, but it is quite funny.
But it had to understand that question.
Yeah.
Which is that's the wild part. It's like it understands what is a weird photo. What is a weird photo?
Yeah.
What is a less or more weird photo?
It goes through, it has to find all the team members, it has to figure out who we all are. It,
Right.
Searches
This
X.
is without access to the internal XAI personnel logs. It's literally looking at just at the internet.
Exactly.
So you could say like the weirdest of any company.
Yeah.
To be clear.
Exactly. And we can also take a look here at the question here for the humanities last exam. So it is still researching all of the historical scores, but it will have that final answer here soon. But we can, while it's finishing up, we can take a look at one of the ones that we set up here a second ago. And we can see like, it finds the date that like Dan Hendricks had initially announced it. We can go through, we can see, OpenAI announcing their score back in February. And we can see, as progress happens with like Gemini, we can see like Kimi, and we can also even see, the leaked benchmarks of what people are saying is, if it's right, it's going to be pretty impressive. So pretty cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how everybody uses these tools and gets the most value out of them. Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, and we're going to close the loop around usefulness as well. So it's like it's not just book smart, but actually practically smart.
exactly. All right. And we can go back to the slides here, yeah. So.
Cool. So we actually evaluate also on the multimodal subset. So on the full set, this is the number on the HLE exam. You can see there's a little dip on the numbers. This is actually something we're improving on, which is the multimodal understanding capabilities. But I do believe in a very short time, we're able to really improve and got much higher numbers on this, even higher numbers on this benchmark. Yeah.
Yeah, this is we still like what is the biggest weakness of Grok currently is that it's sort of partially blind. It can't its image understanding, obviously, and its image generation needs to be a lot better, and that's actually being trained right now. So. Grok 4 is based on version 6 of our foundation model, and we are training version 7, which will complete in a few weeks, and that'll address the weakness on the vision side.
Mm-hmm. And just to show off this last here, so the prediction market finished here with a heavy. And we can see here, we can see all the tools and the process it used to actually go through and find the right answer. So it browsed a lot of odd sites. It calculated its own odds comparing to the market to find its own alpha and edge. It walks you through the entire process here, and it calculates the odds of the winner being like the Dodgers, and it gives them a 21.6% chance of winning this year. So. And it took approximately 4.5 minutes to compute.
Yeah, that's a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
We can also look at all the other benchmarks besides HLE. As it turned out, Grok 4 excelled on all the reasoning benchmarks that people usually test on, including GBQA, which is a PhD level problem sets. That's easier compared to HLE. On AMI 25, American Invitation Mathematics exam, with Grok 4 Heavy, we actually got a perfect score. Also on some of the coding benchmark called Live Coding Bench, and also on HMMT, Harvard Math, MIT exam, and also USAMO. You can see actually on all of those benchmarks, we often have a very large leap against the second best model out there.
Yeah, I mean, really, we're going to get to the point where it's going to get every answer right in every exam, and where it doesn't get an answer right, it's going to tell you what's wrong with the question, or if the question is ambiguous, disambiguate the question into answers A, B, and C, and tell you what answers A, B, and C would be with a disambiguated question. So the only real test then will be reality. Can it make useful technologies, discover new science? That'll actually be the only thing left, because human tests will simply not be meaningful.
Yeah, we need to make an update to HLE very soon, given the current rate of progress. So yeah, it's super cool to see like multiple agents that collaborate with each other, solving really challenging problems. So where can we try this model? So it turned out it's available right now. If we advance to the next slide, where there is a super Grok Heavy tiers that we're introducing, where you're able to access to both Grok 4 and Grok 4 Heavy, where you're actually going to be the taskmaster of a bunch of little Grok research agents to help you, become smarter, do all the little research, and save hours of times of, going through mundane tasks. And it's available right now.
Yeah. So we did limit usage during the demo, so it didn't break the demo, because all this stuff is happening live. So there's nothing canned about any of the tests that we're doing. So after the demo is done, we'll enable more subscribers for SuperGrok. So if you can't subscribe right now, just try in half an hour. It should work. Okay. And now let's get into voice.
Great. Abby? So many of you have been enjoying our voice mode, and we've been working hard to improve the experience over the past couple months. We have cut latency in half to make it much snappier. And today we're excited to announce a set of new voices that have exceptional naturalness and prosody. You might have noticed the movie trailer voice that opened up the live stream. That is one of our new voices, Sal, who's got that epically deep tone. And we're also excited to introduce Eve, a beautiful British voice who's capable of rich emotions. Aman, would you like to introduce Eve?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's get into the demo. Hey, Eve. Millions of people are watching us right now. Are you excited?
Oh, I'm thrilled, really. It's like being on stage at the Old Vic with a sea of faces out there. Just imagine all those eyes and ears tuned in. It's a proper buzz, isn't it? What do you reckon we should chat about to keep this lot entertained?
You know, we have a lot to talk about, but I'll be honest, I'm feeling a little nervous. Can you whisper something soothing to calm me down?
Take a deep breath, love. You've got this. It's just you and me, having a quiet chat, like we're tucked away in a cozy corner of a Yorkshire pub. The world's just a murmur out there. Feel that calm wash over you. Let's keep talking, nice and easy. What's on your mind?
You know what? I'm actually feeling quite relaxed to try this something crazy. So can you give us an opera on Diet Coke?
Oh, an opera on Diet Coke. That's a riot. Picture this, a shimmering silver can, glistening under stage lights. Oh, Diet Coke, thou elixir divine, with bubbles that dance in a sparkling line. Thy crisp, cool kiss on lips so fine. Oh, aspartame, ambrosia, forever mine. How's that for a mad little aria?
Do you need that?
Want me to belt out another verse or switch up the tune?
Okay, let's try switching it up and just start singing.
Right then, let's have a go. Oh, silver can, you gleam in the light. Diet Coke, my heart's delight.
Okay, I won't try to. It's very, very poetic. Yeah, thank you, Eve. Feeling quite nice now.
Cool. So that's Eve. And so something else we do here is a little test each day to check on the natural flow of our conversations against some of our competitors. So we figured why not try that live on the stream today.
Should I start? Hey, I'm going to say a number, and can you say the same number back to me? 1.
1, got it. This is like a fun little game of echo. What's next?
2. Sorry, I said 2. 3.
Did. 3. 4, nice and steady. What's next?
5.
5, nailed it. This is pretty fun, actually. Feel free to keep going or switch it up if you'd like.
Hey, Grok. Hey, Grok.
Hello there. How can I help you today?
We're going to do a little test. Can you repeat after me? 1,
1. All right. What's next?
2,
2. What's on your mind?
3,
3. Need anything else?
4,
4. How can I assist you?
5.
5. What's next?
So as you can see, Grok was snappier. It didn't interrupt me. And the prosody is we've made different design choices. I think we were shooting for something more calm, smooth, more natural, versus something that's more poppy or artificial. So we'll keep improving on these fronts.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Yep.
So since the launch of the voice model, we actually see the 2x faster end-to-end latency in the last 8 weeks, 5 different voices, and also 10x the active user. So Grok Voice is taking off. Now, if you think about releasing the models, this time we're also releasing Grok 4 through the API at the same time. So if we go to the next 2 slides, so we're very excited about what all developers out there is going to build. So if I think about myself as a developer, what the first thing I'm going to do when I actually have access to the Grok 4 API? Benchmarks. So we actually ask around on the X platform, what is the most challenging benchmarks out there that is considered the holy grail for all the AGI models? So turned out AGI is in the name, ArcAGI. So the last 12 hours, kudos to Greg over here in the audience. So who answered our call, take a preview of the Grok 4 API, and independently verified the Grok 4's performance. So initially we thought, hey, Grok 4 is just, we think it's pretty good, it's pretty smart. It's our next-gen reasoning model, spend 10x more compute, can use all the tools, right? But turned out, when we actually verify on the private subset of the ArcAGI v2, it was like the only model in the last 3 months that breaks the 10% barrier. And in fact, it was so good that actually gets to 16%, well, 15.8% accuracy, 2x of the second place, that is the Cloud 4 Opus model. And it's not just about performance, right? When you think about intelligence, having an API model drives your automation. It's also the intelligence per dollar, right? If you look at the plots over here, the Grok is just 4 is just in the league of its own. All right, so enough of benchmarks over here, right? So what can Grok do actually in the real world? So we actually contacted the folks from Endon Labs who were gracious enough to try the Grok in the real world to run a business.
Yeah, thanks for having us. So I'm Axel from Endon Labs.
And I'm Lucas, and we tested Grok 4 on Vending Bench. Vending Bench is an AI simulation of a business scenario where we thought, what is the most simple business an AI could possibly run? And we thought vending machines. So in this scenario, the Grok and other models need to do stuff like manage inventory, contact suppliers, set prices. All of these things are super easy, and all the models can do them one by one. But when you do them over very long horizons, most models struggle. But we have a leaderboard, and there's a new number 1.
Yeah, so we got early access to the Grok 4 API. We ran it on the Vending Bench, and we saw some really impressive results. So it ranks definitely at the number 1 spot. It's even double the net worth, which is the measure that we have on this eval. So it's not about the percentage on or a score you get, but it's more the dollar value in net worth that you generate. So we were impressed by Grok. It was able to formulate a strategy and adhere to that strategy over a long period of time, much longer than other models that we have tested, other frontier models. So it managed to run the simulation for double the time and score double the net worth. And it was also really consistent across these runs, which is something that's really important when you want to use this in the real world.
And I think as we give more and more power to AI systems in the real world, it's important that we test them in scenarios that either mimic the real world or are in the real world itself. Because otherwise we fly blind into some things that might not be great.
Yeah, it's great to see that we've now got a way to pay for all those GPUs. So we just need 1 million vending machines.
Definitely.
And we could make $4.7 billion a year with 1 million vending machines.
100%. Let's go.
It can be epic, vending machines.
Yes, yes.
All right. We are actually going to install vending machines here, like a lot of them.
We're happy to supply them.
All right, thank you.
All right.
I'm looking forward to seeing what amazing things are in this vending machine.
That's for you to decide.
All right.
I'll tell the AI.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Yeah. I mean, so we can see like Grok is able to become like the co-pilot of the business unit. So what else can Grok do? So we're actually releasing this Grok. If you want to try it right now to evaluate, run the same benchmark as us. It's on the API. Has 256K contact length. So we already actually see some of the early adopters to try Grok 4 API. So our Palo Alto neighbor, Arc Institute, which is a leading biomedical research center, is already seeing like how can they automate their research flows with Grok 4. It turned out it's able to help the scientists to sniff through millions of experiments logs and then just like pick the best hypothesis within a split of seconds. We see this as being used for the CRISPR research, and also Grok 4 independently evaluated scores as the best model to examine the chest X-ray. Who would know? And in the financial sector, we also see the Grok 4 with access to all the tools, real-time information is actually one of the most popular AIs out there. So our Grok 4 is also going to be available on the hyperscalers. So the XAI enterprise sector is only started 2 months ago, and we're open for business. So the other thing, we talked a lot about having Grok to make games, video games. So Danny is actually a video game designer on X. So we mentioned, hey, who want to try out some Grok 4 preview APIs to make games? And Danny answered the call. So this was actually just made first-person shooting game in a span of 4 hours. So some of the unappreciated hardest problem of making video games is not necessarily in coding the core logic of the game, but actually go out, source all the assets, all the textures of files, and to create a visually appealing game. So one of the core aspects Grok 4 does really well with all the tools out there is actually able to automate these asset sourcing capabilities. So the developers can just focus on the core development itself rather than so now you can run a entire game studios with game of one with one person, and then you can have Grok 4 to go out and source all those assets, do all the mundane tasks for you.
Yeah. Now the next step obviously is for Grok to be able to play the game. So it has to have very good video understanding, so it can play the games and interact with the games and actually assess whether a game is fun and actually have good judgment for whether a game is fun or not. So with version 7 of our foundation model, which finishes training this month, and then we'll go through post-training RL and whatnot, that will have excellent video understanding. And with the video understanding and improved tool use, for example, for video games, you'd want to use Unreal Engine or Unity or one of the main graphics engines, and then generate the art, apply it to a 3D model, and then create an executable that someone can run on a PC or a console or a phone. We expect that to happen probably this year, and if not this year, certainly next year. So that's it's going to be wild. I would expect the first really good AI video game to be next year. And probably the first half hour of watchable TV this year, and probably the first watchable AI movie next year. Things are really moving at an incredible pace.
Yeah, when Grok is 10xing the world economy with vending machines, it will just create video games for humans.
Yeah, I mean, it went from not being able to do any of this really even 6 months ago.
That's right.
to what you're seeing before you here, and from very primitive a year ago to making a sort of a 3D video game with a few hours of prompting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, yeah, just to recap, so in today's live stream, we introduced the most powerful, most intelligent AI models out there that can actually reason from the first principle using all the tools, do all the research, go on the journey for 10 minutes, come back with the most correct answer for you. So it's kind of crazy to think about, just 4 months ago, we had Grok 3, and now we already have Grok 4. And we're going to continue to accelerate as a company, XAI. We're going to be the fastest moving AGI companies out there. So what's coming next is that we're going to continue developing the model that's not just intelligent, smart, think for a really long time, spend a lot of compute, but having a model that actually both fast and smart is going to be the core focus, right? So if you think about what are the applications out there that can really benefit from all those very intelligent, fast, and smart models, and coding is actually one of them.
Yeah, so the team is currently working very heavily on coding models. I think right now the main focus is we actually trained recently a specialized coding model, which is going to be both fast and smart. And I believe we can share with that model with you guys, with all of you in a few weeks.
Yeah, that's very exciting. And the second after coding is we all see the weakness of Grok 4 is the multimodal capability. So in fact, it was so bad that Grok effectively just like looking at the world, squinting through the glass, and like see all the blurry features and trying to make sense of it. The most immediate improvement we're going to see with the next generation pre-trained model is that we're going to see a step function improvement on the model's capability in terms of the image understanding, video understanding, and audios. Right? It's now the model is able to hear and see the world just like any of you. Right? And now with all the tools at its command, with all the other agents it can talk to, so we're going to see a huge unlock for many different application layers. After the multimodal agents, what's going to come after is the video generation, and we believe that at the end of the day, it should just be pixel in, pixel out, and imagine a world where you have this infinite scroll of content in inventory on the X platform, where not only you can actually watch these generated videos, but able to intervene, create your own adventures. The future is going to be wild.
And we expect to be training our video model with over 100,000 GB200s, and to begin that training within the next 3 or 4 weeks. So we're confident it's going to be pretty spectacular in video generation and video understanding. So let's see. So that's anything you guys want to say? Other than that, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
It's a good model, sir.
Good model.
It's a good, yeah.
Well, we're very excited for you guys to try Grok 4. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right. I don't know. What do you guys think? While that was going, I ran a few things off to the side that I thought was kind of interesting. So this is one of the like Billard game ones that I always run. I know this is simple. So I ran Opus and I ran the new Grok 4 model. Let me go pull that up. I just want to show you guys the difference in these two. So actually, I'm going to run them both side by side, and you're going to try to tell me which one's which. Okay, so here's one. And let me go load the other one up. Second. Shoot, wrong thing. Testing. Make sure I got the right one. Okay, yep. So, let me get the chat back up. All right, so I'm not going to tell you which one's which. One of these is Opus, one of them is Grok 4. So this one, again, I never know if this is the stick or the pointer, so I'm probably going to shoot it in the wrong direction. I apologize. It kind of looks like a stick, so we'll just see. Oh, it does have a power meter. So I did actually mess that up. I don't know if you noticed that when I was holding down, it did have a power meter. So I'm actually going to restart that one because I now know which way to actually aim. All right, so here we go. So power it all the way up. Pretty dang good physics there. And then this one here, that's got a power meter too. Terrible physics. All right, let's see if this can actually go in the pocket at all. I'm probably hitting that way too hard. It did actually go in. All right. Which one do you think this is? Opus 4 or Grok 4? Right is Grok. Let's get some people saying. Grok on left. Yeah, so surprisingly, this is Grok. Grok is on the right. Their physics is freaking awesome. One of the better that I've seen, like, first shot at. And then Opus on the left. I don't know why Claude is always so bad at physics, but Claude and Gemini both do a lot of that garbage there. Thought that was interesting. Someone said the API was up. Is it actually up? No. Not for me, anyway. All right, so the next test that I did, let me load this up here. Pull this up. So this is the This is a city traffic simulator that I ended up running here. And this is the one that I don't ever feel like many models actually do a good job at. All right, so I'm going to mix these up a little bit. Copied the prompt instead of the code there. And then here is the Opus one. All right, here's one of them. And here's one. Super interesting. I'm trying to see what they're actually doing here. So I don't know if either of these actually go. That's a very big stream of cars. It is actually working though. Like, look, they're stopping at the red light. Those stopped. They actually. This guy, yep, they're stopped here. They were getting backed up out here. Now they go. How about this one over here? That guy just ran a red light. So this one here on the right is Grok 4. This one on the left is Opus. So I ran the Opus one first. Yeah, the right seems actually pretty good. This was the Grok 4 one. I was just curious like how it was actually going to do off the gate. And so to show you, it thought for 81 seconds on this one, and then on the pool one it actually thought for 140 seconds. Compared to, I guess it doesn't give me the time on Opus. I don't even know if it actually did much thinking at all. But it does seem that Grok 4 is actually better, at least at this type of stuff, than Opus. It's going to be curious to see if it actually can do tool calling and work in AI coding assistants. Yes, I should 100% load up my chessboard and get them to compete. I should get that running. Once that API is up, that's a great idea. That is an awesome idea, to see if they can actually play chess now. I wanted to see if the API is ever... I'm sure there's probably a way, they just don't have any of the pricing. I want to see what it is. Grok is... So you're seeing the API is up? Let me see if they put it on an open router yet. No, not there. I'll probably check that out in the morning. By then, I'll probably have all the stuff figured out in the pricing. I hate that they didn't actually put the pricing out for the API, unless you guys saw it and I didn't. If the API is up and someone sees it, what is the pricing of it? Does it have it listed anywhere? Maybe I can just Google this. Hold on. Exit. Maybe here. Grok 4 API pricing. There's got to be somebody that found the leak of this. Wait, what? If this is true? Holy crap. I don't know if that's true or not, but that seems great. That's huge. That's amazing. Some of the leaks were accurate, some were not. A lot of the leaks I saw had the context window at half the size. Whoa, that is amazing. I'm super hyped. I'm going to use this all day tomorrow. I'll let you guys know how it works. That's awesome. It's very affordable. Still more than I think it should be, but we'll see if it works. Man, that's so cool. We're going to have to watch like RuCode and them to get that in. And to get it on Open Router. Probably Open Router would be nice to have it on. Yeah, I'm going to use it in Ru and OpenCode. Those will be the two I run it in tomorrow. RuCode and OpenCode. OpenCode, it's a good test because it works really, really, really good with Claude 4, but then it struggles really heavily with like Gemini 2.5 Pro. So I'm curious where it falls. Somebody said it's in the table underneath. I probably didn't scroll down. Here, let me refresh to see if... There it is. It just updated for me. Grok 4 now available. Grok 4 0709. $3. Man, I am so happy about that. The way they were talking, I thought this was going to be like an Opus level pricing. This honestly might end up being pretty cool. I'm very hyped that this is a decent model, especially after just those quick little one-off shots that I did. I'm actually I actually want to run it through a bunch of other complex tests to see how it compares. But man, so tokens per minute. What? That's not going to be usable. Shoot. I'm not going to be able to use it unless I can get higher than this. All my hype just went down. Maybe OpenRouter will remove that limit. Shoot. Shoot. You guys see that? 16,000 tokens per minute. That is awful. I'm gonna have to try to get, keep asking me about the chess match. I have to get that app up and running again, but I'll try to do that for sure to see how that works. I'm excited to try that. You think that's output? If that's output, that'll be okay. If that's input, which is what I thought it meant, I thought it was gonna be, all right. If it's input, like what I think it means, that's gonna be unusable. Yeah, 16K output is totally usable. Input's going to be rough if that's true. So like Claude API limit. At one point Claude had a 40K input limit. Let me see how they had this. Yeah, so here 20K, but fortunately I'm on tier 4 now. So I have pretty high limits, but if you're on tier 1, you're at like 20K here. And I was hitting the 40K limit constantly on Claude 4 Sonnet until I got bumped up in tiers. It was I actually was emailing the Sonnet or the Claude Anthropic people asking about that. So if this is if it is 16K, man, I hope that isn't. We're going to have to... That's literally not usable with root code if that's the case, because their system prompt alone is like 30K tokens. So you won't even be able to send a single event or single message out. Oh, they charge different rates for requests which exceed the 128K context window. I'll have to find where that is in their docs. I could see that. Gemini was doing that too. So that means... Interesting. Was it going to go up by 50%? Yeah, it doesn't make sense to be input, but if you look at Anthropic, they had like 20K for theirs. And if they get it on OpenRouter, it shouldn't be a problem, as long as they don't make you do it by keys. Hopefully it gets out on here pretty quickly. Yeah, don't spam, please. What's the point of having a context bigger than your input limit? Not that it hasn't happened before. I'm not sure. Can you clarify your question there? Click on Grok 4 and pricing. Oh, maybe over here. What? Wait. Okay, hopefully their decimals are just off here. Cost $300 per 1 million input, $1,500 per 1 billion output. We're gonna just assume that is a bug. Yeah, okay, here we go. That's kind of scary. Yeah, tokens per minute. I really hope that is. Okay, here we go. We can toggle it for higher prices. So it doubles. If you go over 128K, it just doubles the price. Cached input stays the same. 30 and $6. This has got to be output. It's going to be awful otherwise. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, that's cool. I will definitely do a bunch of testing on this, guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me. That means a lot for you guys to come and watch that and hang out while we waited an hour for them to start. And I'll let you know like what the actual limits are here and if it's usable. And I'll watch for OpenRouter because a lot of times I can work around those limits if OpenRouter actually puts the model out. Because if they get it, typically they have much higher limits. Yeah, appreciate you all. I got to go to bed. It's 1:08 a.m. for me, so I need to hit it. But I will definitely be doing some chess matches again. Man, appreciate you all so much. Thank you all for hanging out. It was a ton of fun. And even though it was an hour late, we had a ton of fun. Is it out on OpenRouter now? Let me see what the limits are on there. Someone just said it just landed. Oh, I don't see it. Maybe I let me search for it real quick before I go. It is out on OpenRouter. Yeah, I'll probably just use it through here. I bet you there won't be limits on it. Good night, everybody. Take care.